Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. Gamma, Pippa, good morning to you. Kitty Coo, good morning, Kitty Coo. Loud noise, loud noise. Forgot to turn the volume back up. Oh, good morning to Gamma, Pippa Dot, Kitty Coo. You found the Chucky sodas, the Fanta Chuckies? I haven't seen them yet. I checked the other day, couldn't find them. What did it say? Gemma? Gemma? Oops. Sorry. Good morning, Ivory Lady. Yes, remember to be on all, not remember everyone be on live or all, not top. Sprinkle Donut, good morning. I hope everyone had a great week. Glad everybody could be here this morning. Give it a couple more minutes for people to get notifications and hop on in for episode 5 of Blunders Balderdash and Questions. Yeah, Fanta's one of the ones that my family drinks around here, but it's strawberry. They drink strawberry, the orange, and grape Fanta, along with a lot of Diet Pepsi and a lot of Diet Dr. Pepper. I may have one soda every month, if that. I basically I drink soda so infrequent. Just never been a really big fan of soda. Drink a lot of water though. A lot of coffee. Speaking of coffee. Do I have a fan on? Not anymore. Sorry. It's so quiet on my end here, this fan. I can't move it. It's too heavy to pick up. It's called a Woozoo, Woozoo, Woozoo fan. It sits, so here's the camera. I'll point right at the lens. It's about that far from the camera, but it's like whisper quiet on my end. I can't hear it at all. So I'm sorry it was blowing on the microphone there next to because the camera's here. The mic is just below it, about a half an inch. All right. Well, let's get Blunders in Balderdash. This is the 5th episode of Blunders in Balderdash. Welcome to the show where I boldly tackle all my past blunders, bizarre questions, and internet chaos because why keep my dignity when I can turn it into content? I'll be diving into the wildest stuff I've been asked, some serious, some strange, some that made me wonder if the internet is okay. These gems have come to you from YouTube comments, live streams, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, currently known as Confusing, and even a few brave souls who have emailed me like it's 2007. The first one today is, couldn't they just look up the killer's search history to prove he killed them all? They could, I guess, maybe. But that question and comment was left on an episode number 14 of Unknown Killers. They don't know who the killer is. So there's no way that they can actually look up the search history of the killer. So, yeah, but I guess if they knew who the killer was, they could tie their internet to, search history to them and, prove that they killed him that way or have at least evidence that they did it. Next one. Oops. Upside down. Bingo was his name. Oh, no, really. Great video. Well, thank you. That was left as a comment on the weekly poll question. And yes, before anyone asks, there was no poll this past week. I had more important things that I wanted to make sure that everyone paid attention to on the community tab. And an example was pushing out notifications to channel members of the interview that I did with the author of the book Broken Sun. So I wanted to make sure the notifications got out and people, channel members and others, knew that video was coming out. And for all those that, that watched it and enjoyed it and left a comment, thank you very much. It's important that, that we get his story out there. Question. Cup? I'm upside down, each and every one of these. Peach Pit number 3 says, I'm not surprised. Did you do time with him? Loser? Yeah. Again, I get a lot of people who comment things like that. I'm a loser. I shut up. Take yourself out. Yada, yada, yada. And I'm not surprised by that at all. But again, I get these questions a lot, comments like that a lot. Don't let it bother you. It's the only thing I can say. Oops. I was going to turn the whole stack around. Each one of these is upside down. It's pronounced Buia, a long A sound at the end. Zero context to that. Zero. That was left on a live stream of Trivia Night. I went back and watched the entire live stream. It was left on the live stream of the kids who were murdered in the yogurt shop in Texas. I can't find any context to Buia, long A sound at the end. I never said anything that was even close to that. There wasn't a place, a location, a name of an individual. No one in the comment section even typed out a word that was even close to that. So again, I have zero context. I think sometimes people start watching a video, it ends, and the next video starts, and then they realize they scroll down, they're not even seeing the picture anymore, and they start typing into the comment section. It's got to be something like that, because I mean, either that or the YouTube system just randomly takes comments and throws them at the wall and hopes that they stick there, in the comment section there. But again, zero context to it at all. Yeah. Next one. Where there are footprints, aren't those just as good as fingerprints? Well, yes. Um, Footprints do have ridges and valleys just like fingerprints, swirl patterns just like fingerprints again. This was left on the Richard Rogers video that I did back in 2013. Richard Rogers. Now we know who Richard Rogers, would eventually become, but this was on a video back then that I did when he was wanted for something completely different, than what the later video. So I did another video later on that was about his actual murder. But yeah, fingerprints and the palm print of your foot are the same. There's no two, they say, that are alike. Now that's what they want you to believe, but we have been able to prove that there are people in this world who do have fingerprints that are closely resembling. It takes a very good technician to tell the difference between one and the other. But as far as footprints, in the video, in the context of that, there were no footprints. It wasn't the winter time, so there wasn't any footprints or shoe prints or anything else that was found outside the crime scene. There wasn't any mud or dirt or anything else that would have taken up the actual footprint or anything like that. Richard Rogers entered through the back door, walking up a concrete sidewalk. There wasn't any, again, snow or mud or anything on there that would have taken the actual footprint. And as far as I know, Richard Rogers in every one of his crimes wore boots. So, and he never went to a crime scene with with no shoes on for footprints where it would have been able to be detected. Inside the house, maybe he stepped in blood or something like that, and that transferred a footprint, but he would have been a boot print. But to the second part, though, yes, footprints and themselves are just like fingerprints. Hey, look at there. Pippadot. Well, congratulations on 7 years. That's 7 years of great content. Well, thank you, Pippadot. And to each and every one of us out there who did, see my community post, and where I announced that I've been on YouTube now in making content for 7 years. Yes, it doesn't feel like to me that it's been 7 years. And if I didn't know the actual number myself, I would say that it's probably felt like 4 years, 3 years, somewhere in there. But I wouldn't have ever said, "Oh my God, it's been 7 years," because when you're having fun, it goes by quick. Next one. Are you sure you got that correct? You seem honest, but check that again. Yeah. I don't have any context to that. What should I check again? I don't know. Where do you start with that? Again, look at that is the entire comment. Are you sure you got that correct? Well, I'm sure that I got a lot of it, if 99.9% of it correct. But what is it in particular that you're questioning? I don't know. Check that again. I would if I had any idea what you're actually, talking about. What is your question that you think is incorrect? So I can't really correct it if I don't know what it is. You have to tell me. Spell it out. Meep. Just 3 smiley faces. Thank you, Meep. Thank you very much. Next one is they were killed during a robbery. Why didn't they just act dead? This is about the yogurt shop murders in Texas, Austin, Texas. The trivia night that I did. Why didn't they act dead? Well, each person was, it wasn't like somebody walked in and just gunned all of them down. Each one of them was tied up individually and then shot in the back of the head. So, to answer your question, why didn't they just act dead? Because they systematically killed each and every one of those girls, tied them up one individually, shot them, and killed them. There. They didn't just come in and gun them all down, you know, and then they could maybe didn't get hit and could act like they were dead. They were gunned down one by one. So, next one, if I can pick it up. Christopher S. Washington isn't really known for being tough on criminals. This was a comment left on a video about Travis Decker. And you're right, Christopher. They're not known as being the toughest on criminals, but when it comes to convictions and holding criminals accountable for their crimes, Washington State, not Washington D.C., but Washington State, has, you know, they're right there in the top of the pack. They're nowhere near as lenient as some other states on criminals and handing out lower sentences. We used to have the 3 strikes you're out, law in place before it was deemed to be unconstitutional. The governor did do away with the death penalty in the state because he believed it to be cruel and unusual punishment because it disproportionately, was used against those of color and those of lower social economic, standards. But hey, that is the actual case when it comes to the death penalty and usage of it in just about every state out there. If you're poor and you're facing a crime, and again, if you take someone of color and you take someone who is, Caucasian, and you put them, up for trial against with a jury, and the same evidence, same crime, the individual of color or of different ethnicity other than Caucasian is more likely to get the death penalty than the individual who is Caucasian. Even if the crimes are exactly the same outcome, all of it, the sentencing is disproportionately, and we've known that since the 70s. 1970s, we've known that. But, some people just deserve to die for what they did. There is no reform. And you sentence them to life in prison without any chance of parole. I mean, great. But does the death penalty, an eye for an eye, does it ever teach anybody anything? It's not a persuasion. It doesn't persuade people not to commit crimes. We know that states like Texas, when you use the death penalty, you'll see more crimes across the border in neighboring states than you will, where they use it. That's a proven fact. The FBI and the Department of Justice have known that since the death penalty was enacted in different states. But hey, back to the question though. Washington isn't really known for being tough on criminals. Well, again, they're not in the lower tier. They're in the upper tier when it comes to justice and punishment. So, next one. Why didn't they call the police before the murders? Wouldn't that be nice? Hey, someone's coming to murder me later on. Can you guys come here and stop them from murdering me? Oh, I don't know them. I don't know who's going to do it. I don't know when it's going to happen. But yeah, why don't you come and save me from being murdered? Think about that for a second. How would you do that? How? I don't know why they didn't do it. If they knew they were going to get murdered, they should have called the police. That's a good question. Next one. I'm not joking. Read the entire comment. So when he went out to the forest, oh yeah, this is their entire comment. Let's read along. So we went out to the forest. Is this the location where we are to believe he killed all his victims? Or did I hear you wrong? What about the victims he tied up in his basement? Did he not kill them there? Or did he release them into the forest like all the others? I remember reading or hearing he killed a young lady, maybe 26 or 27, in a brothel someplace. That wouldn't, of course, be indoors, would it? Question mark, question mark, question mark. See, this is where you make errors, and people, who are listening to you don't wish to follow along. And it really bothers those who are studying these crimes to get a better picture of what he did and what he didn't do. Leaving parts out of the history will only teach us a smaller amount. The time we invest is important to our understanding and the development of our skills to catch these killers. I'm not a criminologist. I'm not offering a class on criminology here. So I'm not joking. Please read the entire comment. Well, I did. I read your entire comment. Again, I'm not teaching a criminology class here. This is not criminology 101. If I leave out parts of the history, so be it. I mean, I can only cover the actual crime itself that I'm talking about. If I was to cover and do an in-depth on each and every killer, the video would be about 3 hours long. Maybe I could cut it down to an hour, 50 minutes, just under 2 hours. But I would have to have it that long to cover every aspect of their lives. Again, and I would have to do an awful lot of research. You'd probably get only one video per month, if that. If I was to do deep dives, into the entire life, and story behind an individual who killed someone. Now, the time we invest is important to our understanding and the development of our skills to catch these killers. Are you actually a criminologist yourself, law enforcement or something? Are you actually out there trying to catch killers and watching my content for an understanding on these individuals? If so, great. Great. I mean, I hope that I'm helping you. But again, I can't do a deep dive on the background story of every individual. Next one. Check Facebook to see who the murderer is. He confessed to this cold case. All right. Checking Facebook for the information. On that video where that comment was left, I searched Facebook. I did find a couple of groups out there who were talking about this cold case. And was there ever a confession to it by an individual, or one individual, or any individuals out there? No. Going back through the actual case log on the case itself, No one has ever confessed to the murder. This was left on Cassandra Ray video, the video I did, the interview with the author of Broken Sun, Clifford Ray. There is nothing that we have ever been able to find in the investigation, where somebody confessed to, actually murdering his mother. So, don't know where that comes from. And I checked on Facebook again. There were a couple of groups that were talking about the actual crime itself, but I couldn't find anybody that that said anywhere in any of those comments on Facebook that, hey, somebody confessed to it. That's it for the week on comments. And scrolling. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning. Welcome this morning, Blunders Balderdash and questions. Just scrolling. Well, I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Didn't say hello this morning. Saul must be talking about something. George Hodel, do you remember he killed Black Dahlia? The Black Dahlia, that's an interesting story. We're not done yet, though, so don't go away. We still have the, fact or fake news. So just because I stopped reading these ones doesn't mean that we're over with yet. I'm just kind of looking at the comments and paying attention to it. So don't go anywhere. We still have that. Love you too, sweetheart. I truly hope you have fun today at the Elvis Presley. What is it? I don't know if the impersonators are singing or not. So I hope they are. That'd be cool. So now, before I get to fact or fake, here for the next minute, I'm going to show you something that is different that I'm going to be adding to each and every one of. I'm still trying to figure out how to incorporate it on trivia night, but it's coming. It's going to come. Something along this lines is going to be coming to trivia night as well. But I've figured out so far how to add it to this show in the morning. So, yeah, let's just say that we got this here. On the screen you see the breakdown of what Blunders Balderdash and questions is on your screen. I've figured out how to add this to the screen. Yeah, first, along with. I didn't expect that. Did you? Now I know the volume is off. I just figured out how to be able to add videos and clips to actual this morning show, and I can put them in anywhere. So on trivia night, where you normally would see the stagnant, like a photograph of the individual, I can now add Yeah, I'm working on it. Still working on it. I can add videos there as instead of just photos. So, but and I'll adjust or take the volume out of some of these. But hey, if you stay the same, don't expect anything that to change. So I'm trying to to make these better and more interactive, more visually appealing. Right? I've got a whole bunch of them. I really do. I got the curly hair. I have another black straight hair one. I got one that's long hair, brown. It's called the Jesus wig, and then I've got blue hair. So those are all wigs, obviously. All right. So back to now fact or fake news. There can only be one real story. Can you find the real one before it's too late? Story number one for this week. Again, only one of these is real, and the other two are absolutely fake. One of them is real. It could be either A, B, or C. Story one, two, or three. Only one's real. No need to tell the world which ones are fake. So, story number one is a man only known as Saint Bob has struck again, mailing in $8,000 to nonprofits and food banks in the greater Detroit area. Each donation arrives in a non returnable envelope and a disclaimer that the nonprofit isn't allowed to disclose the amount or how often they receive the bank checks. Is this the real story or is this one of the fake stories? Story number two. Cute and adorable Welsh corgis, widely known for their association with British royal family, are in fact a breed of passionate racers. That's at least according to the 120 teams from around Europe taking part in the corgi races, which drew an international bunch of furballs and their owners from countries including Poland, Latvia, Germany, United States, Australia, and Italy. Is this the real story where they had cute little corgis racing around the track? Or is this one of the fake stories? And finally, story number three. Karen Huffman, author of Psychology in Action 13th edition, was notified this past week that the latest edition has 11,840 errors. The AI editing software made up examples and will cost Wiley Publishing $2 million to fix. Again, only one of these three stories are true. It's either A, B, or C, or 1, 2, and 3. Put either one, A, B, or whichever one you think it is. If you think it's A, put A. If you think it's B, put B. If it's C, put C. Or number 1, number 2, or number 3 in the comment section. Which one do you think is the real story? Really? I'm not seeing anything deleted, Gemma. Pippa, I'm still here. YouTube keeps deleting my comments. Karen Cadle. Good morning, Karen. Welcome this morning's Blunders Balderdash in questions. You can't do that because it's unpredictable. The murder is not always planned. I'm sorry, Gemma, if they're deleting your comments, these little glitches do happen. There's nobody here. I have one moderator in the private chat right now. and they're not doing anything. They haven't detected anything that's inappropriate. So it's definitely not them. And for those who wonder, I have 3 moderators who work for me who have complete control of every aspect of my actual channel. There's other people who have mod, basic mod, tools where they can time someone out. But I have 3 people who are here in every chat, in every live stream, who can control every aspect of my channel. They can not only block you, time you out, but they can report you to your ISP and to YouTube immediately upon anything inappropriate. They have more tools in their bag than any other moderator. So Kittiku is going with C, but I hope A and B. Ivory Lady C question mark. Pippa.C. Gemma is going with C as well. Excuse me. The correct answer this week is, in fact, B. Story B is the correct answer. The cute, adorable Welsh corgis. The corgis racing. They just had their, this would be the 53rd complete gathering of corgis racing. Now, story 1 about the man who donates $8,000 to local nonprofits and food banks. He does he's known, there is a real person named Saint Bob, but Saint Bob does this every year with the United Way. He donates rare coins into their buckets during the, when they're ringing the bell out in front of stores. He donates gold coins and stuff like that to United Way and the Salvation Army. On top of that, the real Saint Bob does mail a check to nonprofit food banks every year, but it's not somebody who sends a letter that says that you can't tell anybody about it. He hand delivers these things, these checks to these places. They know who he is. He's a wealthy philanthropist who wants to give back to those who are less fortunate. But he is a real person. But the story this week has been going around about Saint Bob, and you'll find these stories all the time about Saint Bob bought a mother of 4 a car. No, as far as we know, Saint Bob, it only gives money during the holiday season. So tomorrow night's trivia is on the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer is tomorrow night's trivia. For all those who are wondering about tomorrow night's trivia, it's a Zodiac Killer. My daughter loves corgis. She thinks that they're the cutest thing in the world. She doesn't have one. She's got a cat. But she thinks corgis are just the bee's knees, I guess you could say. Will you have manager mod access to my channel? As does Duty Ron and Joey. Joey Brooklyn? I don't know who Joey is. I'm sorry. Gemma. Well, thank you, Pippa Dot. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone who's been here. Kitty Q. Right? Free donations and puppy butt racing. Yes, Joey Brooklyn. Kitty Q. The Zodiac Killer is tomorrow night's trivia. The Zodiac Killer. Oh boy. So what has everybody got planned for today? Me, myself, I'm going golfing. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going golfing after this. Hopefully the weather holds out. It's only 71 degrees outside, which is going to be nice because the last couple of weeks has been in the triple digits. But the month of August is always the hottest around here. The end of July, August, you know. So we've turned the page, I guess you could say. So it won't be as hot. Kitty Q's already got notes on the Zodiac. Let's see. All right, Kitty Q, and everybody who's out there listening. What years are officially associated with the Zodiac killer's confirmed murders? What years? What years? Does anybody know the answer to that question? What years are officially associated with the Zodiac killer's confirmed murders? You're having your 11-year-old birthday party today or tomorrow, but happy birthday. Pippa Dot is running errands and chores today. You don't have them in front of you? What? You're supposed to keep all your notes right there, alphabetical, lined out, so you know exactly what trivia nights I'm possibly going to do. I didn't use that one on the trivia. Ivory Lady is going with 1970s. What years are officially associated with the Zodiac Killer's confirmed murders? The answer is 1968 and 1969 are the confirmed years of the murders associated with the Zodiac Killer. It's 1968 and 1969. There's a reason why. Obviously, the question's pretty vague because we know murders took place later on. Why are they not associated? You'd say that's why I didn't put it in the trivia. But that's just one of the questions. How many did I actually put together? I put together 30, but there's only 20 on the actual trivia night. 20 questions in the trivia night, and I came up with 30 questions. But that's one of the ones I didn't use. I do this a lot though. You know, I write them out on little pieces of paper like this. These are just scrap pieces of paper. I write them out on a piece of paper like this. And then I stack them up, you know, or I staple them all together with my red swing line stapler. I had a red swing line stapler and they took it from me. Yeah, you get that reference. But I staple them all together, and then I actually write them out in notebooks that are back here, and then I make a file for them. Then I actually type them out on paper. I put them in a word processor, and then after I put them all together, and then finally I make a trivia night. I'm always working on 3 or 4 different trivia nights at the same time, and as I get them done, I label them either X1, X2, X3, and so on. I don't know why I label them that way, but I don't remember which ones are which. I have to actually click on the file, and then I can, of the trivia night, and I'm like, oh, this is the Zodiac. Oh, this is Richard Ramirez. I don't know, just by looking at the thumbnail, they're all just labeled X1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on down the line. I should probably put the last name or the name Zodiac. That would be like, oh, okay, I know which one it's going to be. But I only do that once I've actually put the entire everything, 100% of it together, and it's done. But I probably have 40, 50 that trivia nights that I've done that I've already aired, and you've all pretty much have been here for. And then I take them and I upload them to the cloud, and then from the cloud I print them off. I can't give it to you because show you, but I have a external it's 250 gig memory sticks. I buy them on Amazon. They're fairly cheap, but I buy the memory sticks, and then for every 6 months I upload them and then download them to the external memory. So each one of them, the memory sticks is, you wouldn't believe, But there's a lot of things that they're associated. It's not just the questions, and it's the pictures and notes, reference information. Where did the trivia question come from? Where is the factual evidence? What law enforcement? All these notes go into each and every one of them, and they're downloaded along with each trivia night. So one trivia file might be almost a gig's worth of information. Hey, did anyone see how dumb Charlie Alders, that famous money stapler, $100 in stacks of 10? No, he paid the killers with stapled money. Really? Huh. This red swing line stapler. So here's my black one. So as you can see, it's a little bit shorter in size. This is the Office Space anniversary red swing line. They sold it in a kit with along with, so you got the stapler, you got the what Penetrode coffee mug or Intel or whatever, not Intel, but whatever the stupid company's name was. But you get that along with a clip swag, you know, from the restaurant, and then from Chotsky's, and then you got the stapler, and I think there's a hat along with the DVD, the extended director's cut from Mike Judge for Office Space. They only sold them for like a limited time. I think it was 2 years after the movie Office Space came out. You had to go to an actual live viewing of it, and then they gave you along with on a card, like a postcard, as everybody was going out. You got a QR code on there, and you could scan it, and that would bring you to a website where you could actually buy it. They weren't sold on like Amazon or any place else. You had to have the QR code because each QR code had a number, and you could only buy one. You could not buy the collector's kit, you know, limited edition things. You know, you couldn't buy like one for myself and one for your best friend. Nope. They had to be there, and they had to have a QR code. Once you scanned it, that was it. You had to buy it then, because if you didn't, you lost out. But me and my wife went and saw the limited, you know, in-person viewing, and we got the QR codes. We both got one, but then she bought one, and I bought one. That was, I don't know, 97. I think the movie came out in 95. I can't remember. But it's pretty cool though. Still have it. I mean, unlike a lot of like the staplers you get out there now, you know, this, you know, they're made out of you know, plastic. This is made out of steel, and on the bottom of it, you're not gonna be able to see that, but where the spring is right here at the top, it says Swingline Incorporated LLC, New York, and 11101 patent pending, and below that, right in here, it says Office Space limited edition Swingline red stapler. What? I have a red Swingline stapler like Milton. And yes, the reference where he grabs it and he's holding it like this. But his was a full size one, not like a, you know, miniature one. And in the movie, little fact, they didn't actually have a real red, you know, Swingline stapler. They made that. It was a prop. Daughter's she turns 11 on the 2nd. Oh. Happy birthday to your daughter. Happy birthday to all those out there who are celebrating a birthday today or this weekend. My Swingline lemon pie. Good morning, lemon pie. Gayla. Good morning, Gayla. Will be good. However, I have 31 people coming over to my hubby's birthday. Happy birthday to your hubby. Happy birthday to him. For all those celebrating a birthday, I am not a singer. I have zero skills. And when I sing in the shower, well, it chases away all the dogs and cats in the neighborhood. But for what it's worth, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. If it is your birthday today, I hope you have a wonderful day. or this weekend for Kitaku's daughter or Gayla's husband. Happy birthday to you all. And here's to many more. My birthday is the Lita. Good morning. The 11th, and you'll be 75. Well, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day. Having September birthdays in the next 2 weeks. Wow. In my family, the months with the most birthdays are May, June, and July. May, June, and July. We have one individual in our entire family that was born on the 4th of July, the Independence Day baby. But everyone else was mainly May and June, and then going towards the middle of July. But people in your family with birthdays in September. Hmm. Kind of interesting, about how birthdays, and families, tend to run together. 'Cause I know, me and my eldest sister, we're exactly 1 month apart. I'm June, she's July, same day. I'm on the 19th, and she's on the 19th in July. My youngest sister is the May 19th. It's like that. Those days just keep they run through. My grandfather was born on the day of my birthday. My nephew was born the day before my birthday. But it's like you look at the everyone's birthday on a spreadsheet. It's like, wow, they're always in the beginning or middle of the month. There's only like one or two here and there that are born in later parts of the month, but and only one Independence Day baby. Zach Arrington, Will is the man. Thank you, Zach. I hope you had a great week, Zach. My mom and her brother were both born on Halloween, but 14 years apart. Damn. My grands are both born Thanksgiving and Christmas. My grandson's birthday is July 19th. It's a good day. My mother's birthday is the end of July, and every one of her kids were born before hers, not after hers. If you look at the calendar year, every one of them was born before May, June, July. Hers is at the end of July. Will, Lita, and Gayla, and Lemon Pie are here. Yes, there are more here than that are commenting, but that's okay. I was born on Easter, and my brother was born on Thanksgiving. My dad the day before Halloween. I always felt bad for for those who were born on Christmas. You know, I mean, how many kids are you going to be able to get, growing up to be able to go to a birthday party on Christmas Day? I would, I don't know. That's just me. I always felt bad for kids though, that were born on Christmas. Double celebration. Pi and Gayla and Lita are here and to say hello. Well, hello to each and every one of them again. Double celebration. Yeah, every 4 years, Father's Day falls on my birthday. Every 4 years. Your husband was born on the 27th. If you watch the interview with Clifford Ray, yeah, he's a strong believer in astrology, and there is no coincidences in life. He believes a lot of life is predestined. Not that bad things are predestined to happen to you, but that the astrological things and that aspect. And there is something to it. Because I've been reading about it. It's not just a coincidence that things happen in the way they do. The square box. How do you have 35,000 subscribers and only 11 viewers watching it? Should be at least a couple thousand viewers in the chat. The square box. I agree. To tell you the truth, in a nutshell, square box. And it's not just me, not just my channel, but a lot of channels, only get between 10 and 15% of all their subscribers to actively take part in live streams. So if you have 2,000, maybe you get 200. And maybe it's the time of the day or the actual day today. So that's why it's so low. But thank you again. I hope you're having a great week. Pretty cool name though, and picture square box. Here's your square box. Will, you're spammed. I'm spammed. How am I spammed? Pippadot. That might happen. That happens a lot, Kitiku, where you might see the same comment multiple times. That's not necessarily the square box. That could be YouTube. I've seen this myself. So on my phone, I'll send a text message, and then as soon as I see it in the box itself, it's still there on my phone. Like, what the hell? Why? I can see that it sent it. The person's already replying to it, but in my comment box, where you type out your text message, it's still there. It happens. I don't hold it against anyone for it's not necessarily spamming me or spamming in the chat. Totally innocent in my view. I have 5 living generations living in your family. Now my mom, me, my grandson, grandson, with my great grandson. Wow. That 5 generations. Let's see, we have my mother, me, my son, so 3. All of our grandparents are since they've departed this plane, this existence. But well, I guess I have an uncle. I got a couple uncles left. Those would be my grandmother's brothers. So 4, I guess. No, that wouldn't be the same. Yeah, 5 generations though. That's pretty cool, Galen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this morning's stream there. Again, I want to thank everyone for stopping in and for Blunders Balderdash and questions. I hope you have a terrific week. On the way out, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. I've really, it's just an interaction that shows to YouTube that you were here and you took the time, the half a second to click on it. That's all it does. As much as people like to believe that you can thumb down something into non-existence, it's not true. Again, if you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Not going to hurt my feelings. But I appreciate each and every one of you, though, stopping in and taking part this morning. I hope you have a great day today. And I hope to see you again for tomorrow night's live stream. It's at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, or 12 midnight in the UK. Tomorrow night's trivia, live trivia with chat, live chat the whole time in case you're new here. And everyone's welcome to take part. You just put your answer in the comment section, A, B, C, or D. But tomorrow night's trivia subject is the Zodiac Killer. So that's tomorrow night, the Zodiac Killer. I hope to see you all again. In the meantime, you stay safe out there, and I will see you again soon. Bye. And happy birthday to each and every one of you out there who is celebrating a birthday, or your hubby, or your best friend, or your grandchild, or your child themselves. Happy birthday again.